All right, so we are welcome back to the second session. Can we hear me and can we also see my screen? Please, let's mute ourselves, please. All right, so I'm currently inside my VS Code. Can we see my screen, please? And can we also hear me clearly?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, so in the last section, we saw how to create functions, how to pass parameters inside the function, how to return multiple values from your functions, and also how to, generate some sort of hints and documents with your functions, right? So we are going to cap it off with one Jara. The reason why we're actually treating this is so, whenever you see something like that, you will say they have not thought of this one. You understand? So, I'll just introduce us to it. We won't really go in depth into it for now. But once we start our project, then we are going to be working around, the concept of that thing. Yeah. Which is lambda. Yeah. It's a form of function, but in programming, we call it an anonymous function, right? It is called an anonymous function because it doesn't have to be named. All these functions we've been using, we created a name for it. It was occupying space, so to say, right? So there's a way you can create a function and use it and just move along, right? Remember, one of the most important reasons for function is one, to be able to have a container that does a specific task. Reusability also, which is like the most important reason for having a function, reusability, right? But for lambda, it removes the concept of reusability, right? Because you are creating and you're using, then you are moving on. That is basically what a lambda function is. So for some persons, once you see the lambda function and once I create it, you say, wow, it's easier than the normal function. Yeah, it is, but it can be confusing if you are using lambda function for more complicated tasks, right? So now let me create a basic function with lambda. So the basic function I want to create is a function that receives a name, then returns the name as a form of greeting, right? So that is what the lambda function, that is what I want to return with it. So lambda says you create lambda with this keyword, then space. What comes after that lambda is what you are taking in as an input. So if you are taking, maybe we have a name which is equals to Shegun, right? So let's say maybe your function you want to take in Shegun as a name. So this is your input, then colon. Then after colon is the output. What is your function expected to output, right? So maybe we want to return a statement that says welcome, maybe like an F string that says welcome that name, right? Then maybe we want to print this. So maybe we want to print this. So now if I run this, you can see it says function lambda at this, right? It is recognizing the fact that this is a lambda function. But what I'll do instead is I'm going to say maybe result equals to this lambda, then I'm going to print this result, right? So it says function lambda at this. So the way lambda works is, it takes in an input, then it returns an input, right? That is how lambda works. Any question, please, before we simplify the lambda function? Or are we still together, please? Are we still together, please?
Sir, we are together, but I
Yes,
didn't
sir.
really get it too.
Sorry, I didn't get you. You said what?
I said I didn't get the lambda. I
Okay,
didn't get
but
the
did you
whole
get
explanation.
the former functions?
A little bit, sir, because I'll still practice on my own.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
No, what I'm trying to say is this lambda is you as the same as function.
Yeah, it's a form of function, but in Python we call it an anonymous function, right? So basically how it works is, you take in an input, then you return an output. So that is basically how a lambda function works. You take in an input, then you return an output. So here's what I can do. Let me say this one here is an input, then this one is output, right? So how it works is, in front of that lambda, whatever it is you pass inside, remember our regular function is taking in an input now, isn't it? So this is the input. Please, let's mute ourselves, please. Let's mute, though, unless you have a question. Please, let's mute. Child. Khalil, I will nod you, Khalil. Alright, so whenever you are using a lambda function, after you typed your lambda, just know that what comes after it is the input, what that function is taking, then colon, what that function is outputting, right? Then I'm storing everything inside a variable. But the reason why you're getting function lambda at this is because it's not seeing this as a function. What makes a function, it is this bracket now, is it not? Right? So it means you're taking in, your function is taking in some sort of a name and is returning, an expression, right? So that is how a lambda function works. Oh, sorry. It says, oh, sorry, that was my mistake. It's expecting a parameter, so I'll just say name. Then you can see it says welcome Shegun. I'm passing this name inside here, which is a lambda, right? It's taking the Shegun as an input and it's returning an expression with the name, right? Anytime you hear lambda, let me see if I can scroll up to, let me see if I can copy one very easy function. No, this one is not. Oh, let me create a new function that will compare def name, or let me say def show, that is taking in a name, then returning an f string that says welcome name, then name equals, this is okay, sorry, show name. This is the way we've learned how to create a function all this while. You pass in something inside a function, then you get it inside here using a placeholder, then you create a logic inside it, right? You can see we used 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of code to just output welcome Shegun. But lambda function says, instead of doing all these ones, you can just create your lambda, you pass in an input, colon, then what you want your input or your function to return. Then you pass in that inside your function. Remember, this is not a function, and the function is called a lambda function. So I'm passing this name inside here, right? So this is one way of outputting the same thing that we are going to output with this. That's why I said it's not really mandatory. It's just, just to know that something like this exists, right? You can use you can create a function on the go, and you can use it and you'll be done with it, which is different from what we did here, where there's a reference to that function somewhere, right? And this one is called a lambda function. It can be complicated sometimes, but anytime you see a lambda, just know that first you have to type in a lambda keyword. What comes after it is the input, what that function is taking, then colon, what that function is expected to output. Shikena. Are we still together, please? Are we still together, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's that for lambda function. All right, so any question before we move to something else, please? Any other question? All right, So if there are no questions, let's move. Okay, you have a question?
Sir,
Yeah.
my network cut me off, so I missed the first one.
Mm, it's no problem, right? The session has been recorded and it will be posted in the group so you can, watch or download later on. The
Okay,
first
sir.
session has been recorded, yeah. Even this one is
Thank
being, is it?
you.
Yeah, even this one is being recorded also.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so let's move to the last item for today, which is GitHub. Please let's mute to Khalil. You please, once you join the group, right, or once you join the session, Khalil, what is our offense? Just mute, please. The next time you unmute yourself, I'm going to remove you from the session. All right. So the last item for today is going to be GitHub, right? So it means this one is not optional. Everybody must have an account on GitHub, right? So I'm going to go to github.com. Um, all right, let me quickly sign out. Hmm. Uh, I don't want to sign out from this. So, well, because if I sign out, this my account is linked to a particular project I deployed. Let me see. Let me see. So if I sign out, will it sign me out of that deployment also? Or will it just? Hmm.
Sorry, you need to just open another one
If
and
you
change
can
the
sign
project
in
name.
back now, no problem.
Yeah, I can
Sign
sign
out
it
and
back.
see.
But what I'm thinking of is actually deployed a full project, someone's project with, well, let me just say our company's project
So
with,
is it possible that we continue with this sign on?
yeah, it's possible. But you know what?
So
I think I
let's just
think our
continue.
Google Meet screen should cover another account. That's what I'm going to do. Let me use another. Are you seeing this interface? Hello.
Yes, sir.
We are seeing this interface.
Yes, sir.
I've already
The start
left the
page
former
where the
group.
Google tag.
So you are seeing, let me type GitHub. So you are seeing GitHub right now.
Yes.
You know what? Let me log out here. So I can log out from this place. I don't have any problem with this. But then I just needed to be sure of. So what are you seeing on the screen? Just read out what you are seeing on the screen for me.
The future of
Oh,
building
that's very good
happens
then.
together.
All right.
The
So
future of building happens.
all right, so it works then. All right. So yeah, so GitHub. So GitHub is I think let me start from Git. Let me start from Git. Git is a version control system, right? Um, as you have your system and you're working on a project on your system, that is a version of that project on your system. So it means if we are working on the same project, right, and you want to send me what you've done so far, it means you need to find a way to send me the version of that stuff you're working on. You need to find a way to send that version to me. So if I'm not within the same space as you are, it's going to be a problem, right? You start thinking, sir, can I send it through mail? Can I send it through WhatsApp? Can I send it through? Can I send it through? Right? So it becomes a problem, but not a big problem. The big problem here is we've got beyond programmers having to wait for themselves before they jump on a project, right? Imagine Khalil is in Abuja here, then I'm in Lagos, right? And we're working on a project together. Then I'm having to wait for him to be done with one aspect of the project before I continue or start my own. Nobody has that time right now, right? So there should be a way, we can collaborate on the same project in real time in such a way that whatever code he pushes on his own end, I should be able to see the same thing on my own end in real time. The key word there is real time. That is where Git becomes very, very important, right? So Git is a version control system where you have your system that controls the local version of whatever it is you're doing. Then Git controls the online version, or you can just say your code or your project in cloud. Yeah. So now Github is a tool for Git. So you can just see it as a tool for version control system, right? So other persons will be like, I have a Snapchat account, I have a TikTok account, I have a Facebook account. As programmers going forward, you need to have a Github account, because this is going to be your own profile. This is going to be your social networking platform, right? In a sense that any project you are doing, any code you're writing, you need to find a way to push it to your own personal profile, right? So now how it works is you need to sign up on this platform, right? Everybody needs to do that. So I'm going to be walking us through the sign up process. So I quickly created a new email that we are going to be using, or that I am going to be using. So you create, like in your own case, your own should be something at gmail.com, right? But because I've exhausted all my Gmail accounts, that is why I'm using my company's email, right? So you go to this place that says sign up for Github, and you put in your email. Then you click sign up for Github. So you let it load. You can see it says see the email I want to create the account with. That was the one I just imputed. Then the password, please just type in a very strong password. So me, I'm going to be typing this password. Don't worry, I'm going to delete the account once I'm done, right? So I'm going to type in this password. Then username, you have to type in a username that is unique, right? I am Shegun, but I can't use Shegun anymore because somebody has registered with Shegun, right? So let me try different combinations. You can see the moment you type, you start seeing username Shegun is not available, but you can just combine it with different stuffs. You can see now it says username is available. Why? Because there's a tick in green in front of it. I don't like this one. Let me just do Shegun 2026, right? So this is available also. You input your email, but if you want a very easy sign up, right? Well, it used to be easy, but these days signing up with Google is not as secure as we thought, but that is a subject for another day. But for now, just input your email, your password, then decide on a username, then the region, right? Nigeria. But if you are not in Nigeria, you can put in your region. Then if I were you, I would not tick this. You can see, are we still together, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, so if I were you, I would not tick this. You can see it says receive occasional product updates. I don't want them to keep bombarding my mail with broadcasts or promotional messages, right? So just fill in this, then you click on create account. So it's trying to verify now if we are a bot or not, right? So just let it load. Before, I'm just hoping that we have a very smooth verification. Yeah, so it says we have sent a code to this. So this explains why it has to be a legit email address. So I'm going to go to my email to check if there's a code that has dropped. In your own case, the moment you click create an account, it should drop immediately, but custom email usually lags behind a bit. So it might probably take a while for mine to drop, but it will eventually. Oh, is this not the email I used? I think it's the same one. Oh, thank God. Yeah, so you see it says your GitHub launch code, right? So this is my code. Your own would have been sent to your email also. So just copy whatever it is they sent and just paste it in there, right? So now it says your account was created successfully. Please sign in to continue. So the same details you created the account with, just go ahead and sign in. Voila, right? So now you see from here, you can see it says github.com/ dashboard. So this is just the regular dashboard for GitHub, right? But then if you look at the far right, the top right corner of the screen, this avatar looks like what you see on your regular social media platforms, right? So now if I click on this avatar, now you can see this was the username I selected. Then there is a particular link here that says profile. So I'm going to click on this link, this profile link. So go ahead and click on it. So the moment you click on that link, you will notice this URL bar here will change to point to your profile. You can see https://github.com/your username. So maybe later on, if you are applying for maybe internship or you are applying for a particular role and they ask you to send in your GitHub profile link, you just go inside your profile and you highlight everything inside that URL. That is what you are going to be sending to that person. You can see https://github.com then / your username. So this is the link to your portfolio on GitHub. Now let me quickly explain a particular concept, a very important concept. Remember we said GitHub works like your system, right? Your system has a version, your GitHub has a version, right? So there's a way you can keep your system version to be the same version with the one you have online, right? It means if you're working on a project, you have to constantly push that project to your GitHub. The same way you have folders on your system, we have folders on GitHub also. But on GitHub, we don't call it folders. We call it repositories, which is what you are seeing here. Right? So repositories are folders on GitHub, right? But we don't call it folders, we call it repositories on GitHub. So as you can see here, it says I don't have any repository yet, which means I don't have any project yet. So what I can do is, let's say I want to push, I have a simple project here. It's a simple calculator Python. Are we still together, please? Are we still together?
Yes,
All right. So let's say I worked on this project, simple calculator Python, and I want to push it to my GitHub profile, right? Which everybody will do. Every project you have been doing, you have to upload it to your profile. Remember, whoever you're sending the link to your GitHub profile to, they have to be able to see the progression, the pattern. Oh, this person has worked on something like this. Oh, this person is making progress. Oh, this person is improving. For instance, if I were to show you my profile on my real GitHub account, you will see when I was building calculator also, when I was building a normal grading system, right? So everything has to be documented, right? So let's say maybe I want to push this project to my GitHub profile. What I will do is, since I have the folder already here, I have to create the repository for it here. So how you do that is, I'll click on this avatar, then I'll click repositories. Right? You can see it says ShareGoon 2026 doesn't have any repositories yet. So there's a button here in green that says new. You go ahead and click on new. So the folder on my system now, I call this one simple calculator Python. So you can choose to call the repository the same thing, or you can change it, right? But then I want to call it the same thing, so I'm saying simple calculator Python, or I could just even say Python simple calculator. Right. So the moment I'm typing, you will see something will be flickering here as if it is checking something, right? It is only checking if there is a name like this on your own account already. You can see it says your new repository will be created as Python-simple-calculator in green check, right? It means if I have created a repository already on my own profile called this, it is not going to allow me because there cannot be duplicates, right? So that is what this is doing. So if you have some sort of description for that project, you can type it here. In this case, I will leave it empty. Then choose visibility. If you set your project as public, it means anybody that has a GitHub account or that has access to GitHub can be able to go to that your project that you're uploading and download it, and they can make it their own, right? But if you set it to private, it means only you can have access to that repository, right? But here's what you are going to be doing. Since this is like a practice phase, anytime we have a task for the week or there's like a project that everybody needs to do, you always set it to public. Why? Because if you set it to private, I will not be able to see it. But the only reasons why you might be setting your project to private is maybe you're working on a very important project, you don't want any other persons to see it, then, and you want to put it online also in case something happens to your laptop. It means at that point you can set to private, but for now I'm going to leave this as public. Then readme, we'll leave this one for now. Git ignore, we'll leave this one for now. Readme just means some extra information you want to pass to whoever wants to have access or whoever would have access to this repository. Git ignore means okay, maybe you have a folder that has like 30 files inside, but you want that system to ignore like 2 out of those files, right? You can set it here in Git ignore. Then license, if you have some sort of license you want to create for that project, you can do it here. But for now, the only thing I'm creating here is the title or the repository name. Then I'm leaving public as it is. Then you go ahead and click create repository. So you just give it a few seconds to create. Yeah, so this is one of those dashboards that usually confuses some people, right? So if I were you, for now, I would ignore this part, even though they will come in handy later on. It's as easy as from your screen, just saying git init, git push, git this. It will just keep transferring whatever it is you've done inside your terminal here, right, to your GitHub account straight up. Right, so we'll leave these ones for now. So what I want us to pay attention to is, you can see it has created, you can see Shegun 2026, it created a repository for it here. Then it is set to public, right? So it says quick startup, get started by creating a new file or uploading an existing file. In our own case, we are not creating a new file. Why? Because our folder we want to upload, you can see it has 2 files in there already. Okay, it has 2 files in there already, of which I don't know why this one is here. It has 1 file in there, main.py, right? So it means I am not creating a new file. I am uploading an existing file. There's a difference. There's a way you can create a file from GitHub, but we've done that in our VS Code. What we want to do is to upload that file. Right, we have the folder in here already as a repository like this. So what you do is you click uploading an existing file. So now you see this interface that says drag files here to add them to your repository, or you click on this to choose, right? So whichever one works for you. If you are the type that you like to drag, you just need to go to that folder that has your project. Like in this case, this is the project, this is the file rather. You just need to drag it here, then you see it will start uploading that file. So say maybe you have like more than 3-4 files inside that folder. It's just to select everything, Ctrl A to select everything, then you drag everything here. And maybe you made a mistake while you're uploading. Remember, this is the one that I just dragged in here. You can just click on this X to remove it. Or maybe you are not the type that enjoys dragging and dropping stuff, right? You prefer to click. You can just go ahead and click choose your files. So the moment you click choose your files, it brings up this pop-up. This is your Windows pop-up, right? So just locate where your folder is. I think my folder is a simple calculator Python, which is this. So I'll open it. Remember, you are not uploading a folder, you're uploading files, right? You already have repository name to represent your folder, right? So this is the main.py I want to upload. So I'll click, then I'll click open. Then you see it uploading. The moment this green thing is done, it means it is uploaded. But it being uploaded doesn't mean it is saved. That is why we have commit changes here. Commit changes means you are saving. You have uploaded something, now you want to save that thing, right? So if you have some sort of a note that you want to pass, you can type it in here. But if not, you can just leave it empty. then click commit changes. Right, so you see processing your files, just allow it to process the files. Then once it is done, you can see Shegun 2026 add files via upload now, right? Maybe after like 5 minutes, you see 5 minutes ago. Remember when I said Github is updating stuffs in real time, right? It is always updating stuffs in real time, right? This is the file I uploaded, right? So now going forward, say maybe I want to return back to my profile, just click the avatar, then your profile. Now you can see there is one repository now inside my profile. Another way of doing that is you click your avatar, then you click repositories. So maybe I asked you to create a project, maybe a task for the week, then upload it to your Github. It is the same process that we just did. You create a new repository, you call it whichever name you want, then you commit changes, then you click this avatar, then you click repository. So if after you've uploaded another one, you see another one below this one. So now here is what you do. Anytime we said paste the link to where your project is in the group, please, I need us to actually get this part very well. Are we still together, please? Are we still together, please?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All right. So anytime I said paste the link to where the project is, do not paste this one for me. This is the link to your profile, right? Maybe you're filling in a CV or whatnot, you are applying to something, you can send the link to your profile, yes. But in the group, when we say paste the link to where your project is, it means first you enter repositories. If you have like 3-4 repository here, you click whichever one you want to paste the link. So maybe it is this one, you click inside it. Now this thing up here is the link to that particular project. So that is what you copy. You can see, so if I copy this, it is different from this one. This one is just, it stops at the name of that profile, but this other one, it has a / the name of that repository. So this or similar stuff like this is what you are going to be pasting whenever we say, okay, do a task for the week, then paste the link to that project or repository or repo. Sometimes I'll just say repo. Repo means repository, right? So that is how you get it. But let's say maybe you made a mistake while uploading or while creating that repository and you want to delete that repository. You can just click on, first you go inside that repository, then you can see I'm currently inside that repository. You click on settings, then you scroll down, you just keep scrolling down, then this area that says danger zone, right? Then there's an option here that says delete this repository. So you can go ahead and just click delete this repository, right? So then they're asking you if you are very, very sure you want to delete that repository. So you can click yes, I want to delete this repository. Then they are still asking you again, unexpected bad things will happen if you don't read this, right? I don't know which bad thing will happen if you don't read it, right? But then they are just wanting to be sure if you know you actually want to delete this. So just click I have read and understand this, I want to delete. So click on this. They are still not satisfied. They said to confirm, type this in the box below. So I'll just copy this, then I'll paste it in the box below, then I'll click delete this repository. So why they are doing all this is they just want to be sure that, wait, you did not delete the repository by mistake, right? So now I've deleted this repository the same way we created it then. If you want to create a new one, just click new, then maybe you want to call this one simple calculator, right? Then you can set it to public if you want us to see it. Then create repository. Then remember, this was what we did initially. We have a file already, so we are uploading an existing file. So you can just click choose file, then locate the folder where you want to upload the file, click on it, then open, then you give it a few seconds for this to process, then you click commit changes, then it is processing your files, then once it is done, then your file is uploaded. For you to know how powerful this thing is, if anybody tries and go to my you know what, let me show us something. I want to go to the homepage of Github. Here that says type to search. You can search anybody that is on Github. For instance, say maybe you want to work on a blockchain project now, for instance. So I'll type blockchain, I'll tap enter. So on the left hand side, there are 8.4 million projects around blockchain. There are 301,000 repositories on blockchain. There are 198 issues on blockchain. Pull request means maybe I have a profile, or I have an account, I have a repository, somebody requested to download my project. I'm going to show us right now. You know what, instead of blockchain, let me search Python. So it says there are 149 projects around Python on this Github. So let me just click. So I just want to show us if or how we can download someone else's work. So all these ones are Python project. Let me see. Exorcism. Are we still together, please?
Yes, sir.
Exorcism looks like exorcism. Before you now
What
go and
kind of
download
this
something that will
crap
now,
I thought Excel system is just those witchcraft.
yeah, but this one, why will somebody name a project exorcism? Before you now go and download
And it
somebody
depends on
that.
what the person wants. No, but you don't really need it.
So
You don't
Yeah,
really need it.
that's it, huh?
We are only because
uh,
when you want to download something, you should be specific with file name and everything.
you've not watched that movie, See No Evil, Abi? Before you now go and watch something that will now start disturbing you, let me move away from this one, because um, let me go to maybe page 5.
For me, I am seeing I'm seeing 6.2 million results
Exactly, yeah. So depending on what you searched. So let me just,
in my
click.
own Python record.
Yeah. Oh, this person created a Python Telegram bot, and it was even updated yesterday. So let me click on this one. So I just want to show us how it is possible to download someone else's code if it is set to public, right? So you can see this person worked on this 2 days ago. 3,167 commit. It just means 3,167 saves, right? So if you want to download this person's code now, right, you just click on this code, then you click on download zip, right? So this is how you can download it as a zip. If you want to download it in the CLI later on, you can click on this. But if you want to download it as a zip, you just click on this, it will download it as a zip. That is how any other person too will be able to see your project and download it if it is set to public. So if it is a very personal project, I would employ you to set it as private instead, right? The same way you can search a project, you can search names of people also. For instance, I could go in here and search, let me search David. You can see it says how many users is it showing. It is still loading, I think. Why is it still loading? All right, so it says 452,000 Davids are on Github. So if I click on this, I could search whichever David I want. I could send them a follow request. I could follow any David I want. So that is why I said Github is also like the world of developers or tech guys. It's just like our own social media platform. You understand? You can follow somebody, you can reach out to that person and whatnot, right? So that is how you can search project. That is how you can search people on Github. That is how you can upload. You can create an account on Github. You can create a repository. You can upload project into your repository And yeah, so that's that about GitHub. Any question? Any question? Why? Because from Monday now, whichever task for the week we are going to be having, we are not going to be using that link anymore. The link that you guys have been using for like 2 weeks now, 3 weeks. We are going to be using GitHub going forward. All right. Any question before we end the session, please?
Yes, please. So my question is, let's say for example, where you you have a project,
Okay.
it's just like on this code Python,
Okay.
and you want to create an app.
Okay.
So it's possible to upload it on this GitHub. As in, when you upload it, are you trying to for audience to see what you do so that you can
Okay.
maybe to sell what you have made?
Okay. Yeah, I get you now, right? You mean
Okay.
deploy?
Yes.
Yeah, in tech world we call it deploying. Yeah, GitHub is that powerful where for now what I've shown you or what I've shown to you is how to just push your project to GitHub. What we've done is not how to deploy our project on GitHub. Deploy means you're pushing something live, right? But what we've done is just to upload our project on GitHub, right? But GitHub is so powerful that it can actually it can help you deploy your project also that it can be live. For instance, if you could remember earlier, I was being skeptical about using this my account for this GitHub process. Why? Because I used GitHub to deploy a particular project. So I didn't actually want to log out from that project, right? I used the railway. This is that particular hosting that I connected to my GitHub account. You can see the symbol of GitHub here. So I linked this to a particular GitHub account, right? So yeah, GitHub can also be used to, deploy a particular project, right? People use GitHub to deploy maybe an HTML, CSS, or like some other programming languages like that. Yeah, but remember, pushing something to GitHub for keep is different from deploying a project on GitHub. But what we've done right now is just pushing as a copy on GitHub. I don't know if that answers your question.
It does. Yeah.
All right. Any other question before we end the session? Any other question? All right. So if there are no questions, so here's what I'm going to do, because it takes a while to upload these videos on YouTube, right? But just know that before the ending of today, probably later on in the night, the link, because once I upload, YouTube will need to go through the video also to make sure I'm not uploading something that conflicts with their whatnot, right? But before I sleep today though, I'm going to upload the videos in the group. So you are going to be seeing two links. The first one will be for the part one of the videos, then the second will be part two of these videos. So please just do well to go through it, practice with it. If you want to download it, you can download it also, to prepare for next week. All right, but
Okay.
whichever question you have, you can just drop it in the group before then.
Okay. Sir, please, what's the name of the YouTube channel?
It's Tech Patriots, but we have different
Okay.
sections of Tech Patriots. Just watch out for the link I'm going to post in the group. It will take you to the Tech Patriot group. It will take you
Okay.
to the Tech Patriot YouTube channel. Yeah, the two links I'm going to be pasting later on. It will take you directly to that channel. All right. So any other question before we end this session? All right. So
Nope. That's one more, sir.
okay.
The GitHub, you say we're going to be using it from maybe from next week. So there's the way we can do something like the way we're doing over the GitHub.
Yeah, it's just to push your project. Then once you're done, it's just to get enter the repository, then copy the link of that particular repository like this, then you paste in the group. So it means even from the comfort of my home, I can always click on this link and go through all the things that you said you did. I don't know if you understand.
I understand, sir.
Yeah. Any other question?
So as it is now, everybody that has been able to create a GitHub account has a GitHub account. That's for his project.
Yeah,
So whatever you do there, you can just save it there for the meantime.
exactly, exactly.
Before we go to now, when we learn deploy and the rest of these things.
That's if you want to deploy, yeah.
Very interesting. We're learning gradually.
Exactly. Everything is just baby steps, Abi.
Mm.
Remember, which one is longer? Is it a relay or a marathon? A sprint or marathon? Which one is longer? Marathon is longer, Abi? No.
Marathon is long.
Right. So it just takes some getting used to. Eventually, remember, I keep saying it that the hardest part is what we're actually doing right now, which is to learn the basics, right? AI has come to stay, but then how do you even make AI create something for you if you don't understand what it is creating for you, right? The privilege we have right now is programming has advanced beyond what we had 6 7 years ago, where you have to start building everything from scratch. These days you just need to understand, get an idea of what something is, so you can even know how to prompt AI better. So later on we are going to be seeing how to use AI alongside coding to enhance or to create better products. Yeah. Any other question before we allow our Arsenal fans people to go and watch their match? No, they keep hiding. Mm. So they want it to be that at the last day now they will not start coming out. You
No, I'm
understand?
no Arsenal fan, but it's an interesting match to watch.
Okay, no wahala. All right, so thank you guys for joining in today's session. So
Thank you,
see
sir.
you guys in the group and enjoy your weekend.
Yes, sir. You too,
Yeah.
sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.